filter. Yo, yo, yo. Greetings. Hi, one cheeky chick. Thanks for subscribing. It's good to see you again. How are you feeling tonight? Hi, Amy. Hi, Devin. It's good to see you again. Hi, Flash. Thank you for subscribing. It's good to see you again. Cracking up watching that video. Which one? Healing Inner Child? Oh, that's right. I sent that one to you. You want love juice. Oh, you're gonna get it, Stacy. You're gonna get it. Thank you for subscribing to Stacy, my reflection. Lady Dawn, yeah, it's good to see you, and thanks for hanging out and subscribing. Yeah, I'm just going to be on pretty quick. I'm just going to do a big burst of just straight source juice. So I'm just going to do something a little different. It's not going to be my normal coding. I'm just going to channel just straight source energy, just straight source love. So that can be used for all sorts of things. That can have really profound effects. So one thing, though, that I want to mention is that oftentimes when I do this type of stuff, at least in sessions, people will lose consciousness. They'll either just, at least for a second, or, sometimes, usually they end up like snoring and stuff, but they're in a weird between state where it's not quite asleep and it's not quite awake, but it's a really deep state where they're definitely like out of body and receiving healing very deeply. So just want to make sure that I mention that in case some people are really sensitive and are affected easily in that way. So, if you're driving or something, maybe, you don't have to hang out, or I mean, if you feel that you're safe with it and you just intend not to receive that kind of effect, that'd be great. But I just wanted to throw out that disclaimer. Because that would make me feel terrible if somebody passed out. And some of the stuff that I do actually will make you lose consciousness because it'll essentially restarts your biocomputer. But this is just going to be straight source energy, just straight love. And we're going to go through the whole body until it just fills up the entire body. And then we just completely just blast that love out. And it's just omni love, it's omni love. So it can be used for anything. And feel free to channel it into your intentions. Since I've got some people here that are amazing manifestors, I'm going to ask your higher selves and your teams to assist me in my manifestations, and they'll know what that is, because I'm trying to manifest something very powerful and beautiful and would be great for everybody. So I'm calling in my energetic favors. So if your higher selves and your teams have wanted to return any of the love and the support, jump on the astral and align the energetics and align the timeline, get as much power as possible to align the timelines towards this intention that I've set. And it's this manifestation for resources. So yeah, all right, so you don't need to do anything. It's really simple. But I just like to reaffirm, that no harm is going to be done, no energy will be taken that is not freely given out of love, and it'll be in alignment for the highest good of all only. Of course, when we're just working with love, there's no need to use those kind of disclaimers. If you're just sending people love, you don't need to ask permission. You don't need to have disclaimers, because it's unconditional, and you're not trying to do anything for anyone. Love is one of those things that you can send to anybody, anytime. It's one of those universal laws that is always available. People don't have to accept it, of course. But anyway, just want to say that. So just relax. Just make sure that you're in a safe space, just in case. Be sitting down if you can. And if not, and you still feel that you're going to give it a shot, just you know, just be mindful of that. If you feel woozy or you kind of get sleepy or go too deep, maybe sit down or something. All right, so just relax, and I'm just gonna go. So this will be quiet. I won't be making sounds. I'll just have my hands up, or maybe even take my hands down, and we'll see what happens. So I will actually talk about the process of what I do when I do this, okay? So that might be helpful too. So what I'm going to be doing right now is I'm opening my heart, consciously opening my heart, and I'm seeing a little spark of light, knowing that there's this little spark of light in the center of my chest. I'm going to feel it grow. That's key. I'm feeling it grow in size. I don't visualize, so for me it's really important to feel it. But even if you do visualize, you want to use your visualizations to actually begin to feel it. So stay in the center of your chest until you truly feel something building up. You might feel a little pressure. If you feel a little pressure there, stick to it until it starts to get bigger and bigger and starts to open up. Use your visualizations to see it as a light that's growing in your chest, starting small. Maybe now it's getting the size of a pea. Maybe now it's the size of a grape, the size of a kiwi, size of a tennis ball, size of a softball, size of a volleyball, and now just completely filling the chest with this bright light. It doesn't have to have a frequency, it's just unconditional, but if it did have a light, it might kind of be perceived as white, platinum diamond kind of a light, but use whatever feels right. So it's going to be filling up the chest and just completely filling up the chest. And while I have my heart open, I'm just going to consciously connect to Source. So I'm going to do this by opening up a portal to the Grand Central Sun and then pulling through just pure Source consciousness as like a beam of light in this metaphor, because it's an analogy. We're just using our imagination to make these connections. They're not necessary. It's just a way to interface with consciousness. So this light's going to flow down from the Grand Central Sun through our sun portal, and then down through onto the planet, through my crown, through all of my energy centers. So moving through my third eye, down through my neck and throat, moving through my high heart, my solar plexus, my sacral, my root, and then down between my legs, down into the center of the earth, into the crystal core of Mother Earth. We're just going to set our intentions that we're sending love, we're sending joy, we're sending peace, we're sending unity into the earth. A little bit of grid work while we're here. We're staying connected. And this beam is just going to stay connected to the middle of the center of Earth, but it's going to begin to flow up to like a circuit. So it's going to flow up, back up through the rocks and the minerals of the earth and through my root, and then up through the back side of my energy centers, up through my Sushumna, my pranic tube, my pillar that houses the chakras, up, through all my energy centers, really feeling it. That's really helpful in this type of work right here, is to feel it. It's going to go out through my crown and back up to Source. So it's just flowing down and it's flowing up through my system into Earth. So I've got a big bright light in my chest, and now I'm going to bring my awareness to my feet and just be aware of Mother Earth. Consciously feel the earth below your feet. And I like to see it or know it, feel it as a light that's beginning to transfer from the earth up through the soles of the feet, filling up the feet, making the feet and the ankles bright. So this light's beginning to just flow up through the earth, through the ankles and through the shins and calves. And this light that's in the chest now is beginning to grow as well. So it's going to get brighter and brighter, and it's beginning to extend out from the chest. So it's moving down through the torso. It's like it's filling up the body, down through all the vital organs, filling up every little cell and fiber, the hips and the buttocks, as the light from the ground is growing up through the knees and the thighs and the hamstrings. So this light is meeting through the body, filling the body up with this liquid plasmic light, and that's still filling the body, flowing through the chest and the shoulders, the biceps and triceps, the elbows, the forearms, wrists, hands, fingers, thumbs, through the neck and throat, up through the head and face. So the whole body is just beginning to be this bright light being, just so you can't see any features. It's just this light. And this light in the center of the chest is growing brighter and brighter, and it's extending this light now out from the body. So this light is now extending from the body, and it's going to continue to grow. Light's going to get brighter and brighter and brighter. It's extending now and filling my entire room. And that's extending even further and filling my entire block. It's filling my entire city now. Brighter and brighter. My state. My country. And extending off the planet. As far as you feels right. So there's no rules, there's no limitations. And this light is magnetic, and what it's going to do is it's going to be met with another light. And that's another light from source, this other magnetic light. It's going to meet our light. Like a Vesca Pisces, it's going to connect with us. And it's going to be flowing light from my body, and it's going to be filling my body with this light. So these lights are merging together. And then I'm going to hold this and then just begin to transfer to those that would like to receive. So just feel your body. And you can use your imagination for how to do these things too. So I can imagine right now, I'm just going to create a proxy, a hologram that represents everybody that's receiving. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to place my hands on the base of the feet of this hologram. I'm going to begin to run this light through the feet. Just holding the way that I feel the light around me and moving through me and emitting from me, filling up every cell of the feet, every molecule, every atom. Really feeling it. Not just commanding it, but feeling it. Feeling is really important in this type of exercise. It's moving up through the ankles now. Transferring this light, this bright, bright, almost undescribable type of light. Through the shins and calves, just very slowly. Liquid light, filling up the body. Up, but very slow. It's like lava almost. Like if a star, a power and brightness of the brightest star, like a diamond sun, met lava, but not hot, more cool. And as this light continues to flow up through the body, as it passes the knees, so now the feet and the shins and the calves are filled with this light all the way up to the knees. And what I'm going to do at the knees is just, with my intention, place a beam of light across the knees. And this is, I'm intending is kind of like a cap, like, okay, so it's not that the light is going to continue to move upwards, but it's not going to move downwards, back. So it's not going to retreat. So the shins and calves and feet are full of this light. But this light continues to slowly melt upwards through the thighs and the hamstrings. Through the hips, the buttocks, reproductive organs, the growing. Up through the waist, the hips. Again, we're going to put another seal, another light seal that goes across the waist above the hips. So now the legs are sealed off. So all of the legs, all bits and pieces of the legs, every little fiber, molecule of the legs, every atom is now saturated and the legs are just glowing. This light's going to move up now through the lower back, the lower intestines. Really feeling it go into every little crevice. And no rush. We're waiting for the energy to guide us. The energy is really guiding us. We're not forcing anything here. And then it's good just to check in with your visualization, your intention, and your knowing that we're sitting in this beam of light that's connected to Source. Our heart is just beaming and we're full of light. Our whole body is just full of this liquid light that's just beaming off of our body, outside of our solar system even, and connected with this light from Source that you don't even know where it comes from. It's just like, it seems like it comes from everywhere. And it's continuing to flow in. Moving up now past the belly button, very slowly, making sure they get in there all the way. Just make sure you're relaxed too, because it can be easy to tense up as these energies start to come in, because it can bring a lot of energy through the nervous system. You can start to create kind of a slight tension, so just allow yourself to relax. Deep, slow breath. Coming up through higher in the lower back, so about moving up towards the solar plexus now. Very gently, very slowly. Just moving through all the vital organs in the gut. Every little fiber and the muscles in the back, every nerve cell through the spinal cord, every bit of tissue. So moving up, further now up through the solar plexus, through the ribs, up through the thoracic spine. Very slow, very gentle, like this liquid light. Lungs and ribs. Like connective tissue in the ribs, everything. Saturating every cell. It's moving up through the shoulder blades, the pecs, the breasts. Definitely the heart, just feeling it in the heart even more. Allowing it to just saturate the heart. Just allowing it to merge with the heart. So your heart, and the heart of all that is connected together. It's one. Through the armpits, up through the shoulders and the upper chest, collarbone. And then we're going to put these seals again. We're going to put another seal of light at the base of the neck, right about the cervical thoracic junction. And we're going to put a couple lines of light, little seals on the shoulders, right where the arms connect. So now it's the entire body from the feet all the way up to the base of the neck and to the shoulders is full of this light, just blinding bright. And then it's going to begin to flow out through the shoulders, biceps and triceps, going to the bones, the blood, the muscles, fascia, every cell, to the elbows, we're in no rush, forearms, really feeling, leaning into whatever it is that you feel while being as relaxed as possible. Now through the wrists. And we're going to put another seal on the wrists. And now we're going to leave the hands open. So now any stagnation, any darkness, anything that might have been stuck in the body is now being pushed out through the body, out through the palms of the hands. Just releasing any kind of stagnation. You may see like blackness coming out of your palm chakra. I'm just going to let that continue to flow out. I'm going to move up the neck a bit. The cervical spine. Base of the skull, the jaw, teeth and tongue, to the brainstem, up into the brain, to the cheeks, the nose, around the eyes, the skull and brain, all the way to the crown, and just filling that up completely. So now you're completely full of this light from the toes to the tip of the head, out through the arms and to the wrists. And there's just this light that's flowing out through the palms, or any stagnant energy, any miasmic energy, dead light, anything that doesn't belong. It's not in 100% alignment with your highest state of being, with your Christic aspects. Pushing anything out that doesn't belong, allowing it just to flow out through the hands. No insistence, we're just observing. This light's going to continue to fill the hands, saturating every cell of the hands. Now the entire body is just bright light, completely filled with this diamondish, platinum, whitish, goldish light. Whatever it is that you see, it's perfect. The body is just glowing brighter and brighter, just channeling more light, more love, becoming aware of the heart. Now that the whole body's full of this light, just going to become aware of our heart center, right in the center of our chest. We're just going to bring our awareness into that spot and feel and have the knowing, or hold the visualization or the feeling that the recipient is full of this light, just like beaming, just so bright you almost can't see the features, and just holding that awareness while we feel. feel your body needs to move a little bit, allow it to, just very gently. Allow it to be very autonomous. You need to sway, almost like floating, like if you were holding your breath in like your bathtub or something. You just very gently, like bobbing, just kind of floating in water, allowing just subtle movements to take place. Allow your eyes to relax. Around your eyes, behind your eyes. Consciously relax the eyes. Consciously relax the jaw. When you do this, your eyes might do something similar to what mine do, where they pulse or roll in different directions. Now I'm going to do a little boost here. So a bunch of different multidimensional versions of myself are beginning to manifest behind me, like popping out of my body, just creating like almost like a stadium of me's behind me. And their third eye, or at least they're in their brain, the light is coming on, and in their hearts, their light's turning on. And then they're connecting their hearts to the back of my heart. And then they're going to transmit some codes through my body. Okay, so I'm just going to put structure around each person that's open to receive. So this is like what we would call gridding your space, like gridding your energy field using different geometric containers that hold frequencies that are appropriate for you and reflect out frequencies that are not appropriate for you. No judgment, it's just what's right for you and what's not right for you. So we're just going to fire up this little geometry in the third eye. We're going to move this down through your central column, neck and the throat, high heart, solar plexus, sacral, spleen, root, down through the root, between the legs, between the feet, and then we're going to go through and past the Earth Star chakra, energy center that we share with Mother Earth. And we're going to go into the idea of the physical heart of Mother Earth. And again, we're just going to express our love, our universal love, unconditional love for every being on this planet in any layer of existence. There's lots of different versions of Earth. We're sending love, we're sending peace, joy, and unity consciousness. It's really about unity. And then we're going to come back up. It's going to flow up to the Earth Star, which is about a foot below your feet. It's going to spin there. It's going to eject a platform that begins to emit a light. It's going to flow up in a cylinder that goes around your beingness. It's big enough around that you can't touch the sides with your arms, your hands. It's flowing up through the legs, through every cell of you, surrounding you in this high frequency, this beautiful crystalline light. Moving up through the torso and the arms, shoulders, the neck, the head, the face, all the way above the head. About a meter or so, about 36 inches above the head. And then we're going to move that geometry that's in the Earth Star up through that same pillar, that Sushumna, the central column, pranic tube, up through the energy centers again. Neck and throat, the third eye, crown, above the head, all the way to the top of that cylinder of this crystalline light. And then it's going to spin again faster and faster until it ejects a platform. And that platform seals in the cylinder of this diamond, platinum, white, divine light. Christic light. And then we're bringing our awareness back to the heart center. Feeling that light again build in the chest. So we feel it. Once we feel it's a nice good size, we're going to put a structure around it. It's called a truncated icosahedron. It's like a soccer ball shape. I put that around it. And then on the faces of that shape, on the outside, we're going to put chromium mirrors. So it look kind of like a disco ball of chromium mirrors on the outside. And on the inside, we're going to put silver platinum. So it's a mix between silver and platinum. And all the faces inside. So we're reflecting in your own energy back to you, your own love, heart, frequency. And then we're going to expand that love, your own love frequency, which expands this geometry, the structure around your heart. So it goes bigger and bigger. So it surrounds the whole body. And it surrounds that column of crystalline light we just created. It goes all the way around your field. So it's holding you in this like bubble geometry like structure. It's reflecting your light in and reflecting out other frequencies that are not in alignment for you. And good. All right. How you feeling after that? How you feeling now? I would love to hear what you experienced or didn't experience. That's totally fine too. Oh, I forget that this filter is on. Yeah, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? You may feel a lot lighter. You may just feel a lot more calm. Maybe just be like, I don't give a shit right now. Some people might be knocked out. I got very nervous, felt like chills. Yeah, nervousness is just excitement too. So you might feel nervous, but that's the energy moving through you. Christina Reed, bro, I was just channeling just straight energy. So a form of energy healing for those that were interested in experiencing it. Oh yeah, and I'm speaking a little bit of what we would call light linguistics, light languages. Yeah, drink lots of water. I will post this, iFlash, I will post this on YouTube. I'll post this on YouTube afterwards. It might not be available until tomorrow. Sometimes it takes a while before I can download the recording. Glad it felt good, Huntress. Thank you, the Ruby Jewel. I was so broken and barely just got on to catch the Earth Star and up. You're a blessing. Oh, thank you, Mama Nay. Yeah, like I mentioned, I'll post this on my YouTube. Keep an eye out on my TikTok, the link in my TikTok, or you can go to tai-el.com. And I post recent live streams on there. So if you miss one, or if you, thank you for the gifts, people, I love you. So if you missed it, you can go back and play those. So there's old ones too. There's ones where I answer questions. There's ones where, we do healing on specific issues. And then this one was a little different. We haven't done this before. So this was just straight light, just straight source light. So just pure consciousness that was being channeled through. Some people might refer to that idea as Reiki. It's not per se Reiki, because that's more of a practice or modality. Thank you, Ginger. This is just straight energy, just straight light. Can it cause headaches? Yeah, so you may have a bit of a headache, or you may be feeling some different energies that are kind of different. Things are shifting in your body. It's because these energies are moving through denseness. So we just pumped a bunch of light through the body, through everything. And that's going to be moving through these areas of resistance in the body, because that's where we feel pain, and that's where we have dis-ease in the energy field. Dis-ease is because there's not, the ease of energy is not flowing through. So that's when we get sick, or we have physical issues come up. So if you're feeling tension in an area, if you're feeling heightened, like you might have a headache, that's very normal too. There's a lot of energy that we move through, and that can take some adjustment and calibration. But for the most part, if you feel pain, if you're feeling tension and stuff, the best thing you can do is lean into it, because it's likely shifting. That's usually why it'll flare up to shift. Thank you, Huntress. Do I have a TikTok schedule posted? I don't, Casey. It's good to see you again, sis. Also, thank you for subscribing. One Cheeky Chick, thank you for subscribing. What was I going to say? I should do a schedule. I'm just afraid I'll break it. Like, because the thing with TikTok lives is I just need to be feeling in a certain way to go on TikTok lives, you know? So I like to be dynamic and organic in it. So kind of like just wing it. But I will make sure I do a schedule at some point. I'm gonna do like a scheduled night a week or something, probably, for the subscribers. So only, I mean, anybody can watch the live, but only subscribers will be able to interact and stuff. So we can ask questions, we can do some, you know, kind of get their feedback on what they would like to work on, put on my like little pendulum thing so we can focus on a certain intention for healing, you know. Just kind of give back to the subscribers, because it's really helpful that you all subscribe, and you know, it means a lot to me on a number of levels. So I just want to give back in some way too. So felt wind around you like air, but I'm inside. Lacey CA, yeah, that's very common. There's sometimes I'll be doing energy work and swear that like the AC's on or something. You get a drift, a whiff of cold air or something. Draft. Where is that language from, and what is it, or what does it mean? So Zensi, we call it light linguistics, light languages. So it's not, I don't like to use the term language too much, just because there's a lot of baggage with the idea of what a language is, because we think of it like language like English, and it's not like that at all. So languages like English are processed more in the left hemisphere of the brain, more of that logical, analytical, needing structure, things like that, needing to make sense of things. This stuff goes more, this language is more intuitive. It goes into the right hemisphere more. It's more meant to be felt in the body and in the heart, but it's more processed in the right hemisphere, which is the side that's more intuitive, the side that's feminine, flowing, it's observant, it's you know, recognizes patterns, it knows. So it processes data exponentially faster than the left hemisphere of the brain. So it can process this stuff like instantly, but you have to be feeling into it. So it's not so much about directly translating it. It can be translated, but it's more multidimensional. And what I mean by multidimensional is that it has many layers to it. So that's what makes it so powerful. You can use it for a lot of different intentions, but there's many layers to it. And I like to compare it to music, because it's more like music than it is like a language as we know it. Because like music, I like to use this analogy a lot, so I apologize to everybody who's heard it a billion times. But like music, you know, you don't have to know what the artist was intending when they wrote the song to feel what the song is about, to feel the emotion of the song, to feel the vibe of the song, right? Or, you know, that could be, it doesn't even have to have lyrics, right? But if it does have lyrics, a lot of times people don't even know what the lyrics are saying, and they still love songs. But if they did know the lyrics, they may interpret those lyrics dramatically different between different people, right? That's what makes it powerful. Like art, it's meant to be processed through the filters of the recipient. So people who have certain gifts, like, you know, or not gifts or understandings, they have like things like their clairs turned on, such as like clairvoyance or clairaudience, so they can hear things in their mind, or they'll get translations in their mind, which is perfect. Sometimes it's not like that. A lot of times, especially the stuff I use, it's more like code. It's more like just pure frequency. Sometimes it's like code that's like a dial-up code. So it might sound like really just like a bunch of sound effects, but so that is a lot of different angles at once. So some of the sounds are doing a certain thing, some are doing another thing, and sometimes it's like an old dial-up internet, like beep, 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 right? And what's it doing when it's dialing up the internet, right? It's connecting. It's connecting to servers, it's connecting to data, it's connecting to information. Light linguistics, light languages are about the data exchange. That's what makes it different than just gibberish or just moving randomly. it has intention behind it, and it has connection behind it. So it's really about what information is being transmitted. So that's why we call these transmissions a lot of times. It's because light is data. And so we call it light codes because complicated combinations of light data become light codes. And so those that are clairvoyant can see a lot of, some people can see these things as well. So it looks kind of like my codes can look different depending on which aspects of me are channeling them, but can look like stuff like from the Matrix. It can look like glyphs and symbols. It can look like all sorts of stuff. It just like sparkles, like the stuff in, media, like the magic dust, all this stuff, like all the magic dust in the stereotypical magical things. Those are light codes. That's what it's mean. And when you see wizards and witches and they're going like this, and they're like speaking their language, they're like they'll usually associate it with Latin or some other kind of ancient language, which it can be an ancient language, but that's where it comes from. It comes from something that's real. That's all the stuff around us. There's truths to it. So it's magic. It's speaking in spells. It can be used in many different ways for many and different intentions. So I use it for healing. I use it to assist people. 144. I use it to assist people in healing because it can shift energies. First, there was the Word, and the Word was God. You have heard that, right? Even in the Bible, because it's vibration. It starts in vibration. So when everything comes from vibration, everything is frequency, everything is sound, and vibration begins to create. Right? It creates structure, and that structure then becomes things, like light. We perceive it as light. We start to create separation, and we can have different experiences through sacred geometry, through sound. So it's this type of work. It's like vocalizing sacred geometry. I'll use my body a lot when I do stuff too. If you look on my channel, there's a lot of different videos I'm doing stuff like this, and I'll be doing it to music because I can feed off of the music. I can feed off the energies in the music and manipulate the subtle frequencies in order to make shifts in the frequencies and in the data and the information that's moving through. So I can use music to boost it and channel this extra data. We call it quantum architecture as well. People will call me like a quantum coder. Because it happens outside of space and time. It's using quantum entanglement, using the idea of quantum physics. So that's why every person can have a different experience with it, uniquely. So people can have dramatically different experiences with it. And even you could watch the same transmission, the same recording over and over again. And again, it can be a recording. It doesn't have to be live, and it can be done through the phone because it's in quantum entanglement. And you can watch the same recording over and over, and it will be a different experience each time. So I would just be open-minded to it. If this stuff's new to you, be open-minded and feel. It's meant to be felt. Don't try to decode it. Don't worry about any of that stuff. If it happens, it happens. Some people, it happens, and they've never heard of any of this stuff, this woo-woo stuff before, and they'll see a video of mine and hear my voice in their head, or like they'll hear translations and be like, what the, did I just go crazy? But that's rare. That type of response is rare. So I would just be open-minded to it and be open-hearted and just use your own discernment. If it's right for you, great. If it's not, no big deal. It's just extra data. Knowing that it exists is enough, right? You don't have to buy into it. But it's very powerful, and it changed my life. It changed my life. I found it. Well, it gets activated within you. So it's not really something that you learn per se. It's something that gets activated. So watching people do this type of stuff can activate it within you too. So some people here might actually become activated through this work or through me talking about it. So they may begin to speak their light languages, and it can be a weird experience, or their hands may begin to move more, or they've been doing it the whole time and they didn't realize it was even a thing. That's what happened with me. I was doing it more than I realized. When I was working on people energy-wise, I started doing energy healing first. My fingers would want to shake when I'm feeling the energies. So I'm a feeler, so I could feel the energies that are stuck in the body, and I just follow the energies. I listen to it, but my hands wanted to do stuff like vibrate, essentially. I thought they were just vibrating. But as soon as I saw somebody do something like I do, boom, it was all on. Just, it was all online. The vocalizations came in a different way. I was pretty resistant to speaking light languages because it rubbed me wrong in the beginning. Because the ego does not like it. Your ego is not going to like light language when you first are introduced to it, usually. Not usually, I can't say what's usual or not, but for a lot of people, it rubs them wrong. It can feel really uncomfortable and just strange. And that might just be the person that you're hearing it from and what's being transmitted. That can be the case. But for me, it was my ego structure, which is, the ego to me is just the set of programs that we identify as who we are. It's Thai. It's the spacesuit, my identity as Thai in this reality. That's all the ego is. It's a way for us to be separate. It's the container that we get to play this game in. It's our avatar in the game, right? It's our avatar. And so the job of the ego is to keep you safe where you're at. It's to hold space for you where you're at. It doesn't want you to grow. It wants you to be in that where you are now, because in this now moment, you're safe as who you are. But when you're threatened, that ego structure is threatened, then it can act up and it can make you feel uncomfortable, or you can feel fear, or you can feel like some uncomfortable stuff. And that's because the ego is threatened. And what does it mean when the ego is threatened? That means that growth is right around the corner. So whenever you're feeling fear and whenever you're feeling stuff with your ego acting up, you know that there's something good behind that feeling somewhere. If you are brave enough and you can push through it, there's usually an upgrade after that. So I was very resistant to it. And I was like, okay, that's not going to be for me. Not my thing. I see people do it. That's great. That can be their thing. And not my thing. I'm not going to be doing that. And of course, the universe has a sense of humor, and it came bursting out one night, just squeezing. I started getting tensed up and just squeezing it until I started moaning and making sounds, and it started to make these archetypal sounds come out, these different syllables and combinations of syllables, and then it started to sound like languages and different tones, and it was a different one every 10 seconds, and I went through that for hours, just a different one and a different one, and it was, my whole body was moving, I was doing all sorts of stuff. And and when I was done, I couldn't speak English for a while. I went to go to my partner and I couldn't even speak English. I was trying to tell her what happened and what was going on, and I couldn't even speak English. It quickly faded out, but it was a trip. And then I had to understand what the fuck just happened, because the experience was very undeniable. There's no way that there's no subtlety to it whatsoever. So I was like, what the hell happened? And was I possessed? Is that what it's like to be possessed? Was I possessed? But I was like, no, because it felt like me. I could control it, but I wasn't at the same time. I could control what I switched to, and it was just this big, confusing thing that was going on. But then I had to understand it. So I started to learn more, and I was using it. I was hiding in the closet for a really long time with it, and just practicing with it, and just using it, and trying to understand it, because I'm that left hemisphere of the brain, I'm very logical minded. So I had to understand it, and it took some time for that left hemisphere, that masculine side of the brain, to catch up to the right hemisphere, the side that just knows, the side that just, it feels, it knows, it's there. And I had to try to make sense of it, and that slowed me down quite a bit. So those people that just pop right in and are like, yeah, all right, I'm ready to speak light language, I'm ready to do my light language, my light linguistics. I'm like, dude, you're a badass. It took me so long to feel comfortable, and still, I was very reluctant sharing my stuff. Spirit was like, dude, you need to be doing these videos, just post videos about it. I'm like, dude, nah, no way. And just over and over and over again. And finally I was like, all right, whatever. I'll post on TikTok, whatever. They told me to TikTok. I was like, all right, whatever TikTok is, whatever. Dancing, that makes sense, because there's a lot of dancing type stuff. And then, boom, here we are. So speaking in tongues is what it sounds like. Yeah, so tongues would be a flavor, a flavor of light language. It would be a type of light language, because remember, light is information, light is data. So when people are speaking in tongues, it is like light language. It's a form of light language. But the thing with tongues is, and again, these are just human labels. They're just words. So how you define it is different than it may be different from other people. But most generally, people associate the idea of tongues with religious factions, right? With religion. And what are religions for? They're meant to keep things limited. They're meant to keep things in boxes. They're meant to be like, hey, these are the rules. This is how it works. And that stuff doesn't work. So it's coming from a limited shelf of data. Thank you, Louise. It's coming from a limited shelf, right? So it's pulling off the recipes. It's pulling to make the dinner or whatever. It's pulling off a limited shelf. What I and a lot of other light linguists do is pull from just the love shelf, just the universal shelf where there's no limits and you can get any ingredients that you want that are right for the person that's receiving. So that's the difference between tongues. And there's a lot of reasons why tongues rubs people wrong. It's rubbed me wrong like the whole time. When I try to speak tongues, so when I try to channel tongues, it sounds ridiculous. I can't do it. Like, it's just like, it makes me laugh because it's so uncomfortable in my body. So, but I have nothing against tongues. And again, these are just labels. It's just an association. It's the same thing. So somebody might be calling it tongues, and it might be exactly what I just described as coming from the low shelf, and there's no limitations to it. But usually when people are asking about tongues, it's because, or they relate it to tongues, it's because they've seen, like the Pentecostal churches do it and all that stuff. Thank you. Hey, it's good to see you, Sissy. Ravy Rolls. Good to see you again. But I hope that makes sense. I thank you for listening to my rant. I was only going to jump on for a little bit. I'm already on longer, but it's hard not to answer those type of questions. So I love you. If you're interested in learning more about this stuff, of course, give my channel a follow. I post data, post information there, and there's stuff in the playlist. I would go through the playlist. There's a bunch of free transmissions, and again, play those transmissions over and over again. You're gonna have a different experience. You don't have to watch either. Focus on feeling. And if you want to get a hold of me, you want to answer questions, you can go to the link in my bio, of course, and click on that, or tai-el.com. And it'll send you to all sorts of different stuff that you can check out. You can email me if you have questions. You can leave a comment on my videos if you have questions. I'll try to, if it's a good question, I'll reply back with a video reply. I do one-on-ones, so I do sessions one-on-one. So what I focus, like what my specialty is, what like my thing is essentially upgrading you into your higher self. So higher self-integration. Activating you into more of who you are, helping you remember more of who you are. And that looks like healing. It looks like a lot of healing, of course. It looks like the idea of activations, which is just like a triggering of a remembrance. So like I said, with the light languages, that was an activation. I didn't have to learn it. You don't have to learn it. It's more of a remembrance. And then upgrades. So if you already are spirit, your gifts are on and you're already aware of this stuff, you can get more bells and whistles. You can get, like if you're clairvoyant, you already see spirits, you can see more, you can see deeper, you can see further, you can see, there's all sorts of stuff, any possibilities. But that's what I specialize in, is like the big picture of all that stuff. And we call that a frequency upgrade. But I do offer healings too. We can just dive into something and heal all sorts of stuff. I do live streams. I'm trying to do them often. I do them Friday nights at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, called Friday Night Lights. And we do group healings and activations and talk about healing techniques and all sorts of stuff. And then throughout the week, I will jump on randomly and offer activations, healings, upgrades for a donation price. So like a minimum donation, and you can get an activation or a healing, like a combination of a healing activation upgrade live. It takes 10, 15 minutes or something. I don't know how long it takes, however long it takes. But you can go through that, and it's a great way to get some, to try it out without having to get a big session or something. It's up to you. None of that's necessary either. You've got all that you need to heal yourself, to activate yourself, everything. Go through the videos that I have on my TikTok. Those are free resources. Use them. I use them. I make them for me. I make like 90% of the videos I make for myself. So you can kind of get an idea of what I've been going through at certain times based on what the videos are. But I'm always open to suggestions too. So if you have ideas for good transmissions, hit me up. I love you. I love you. I love you. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out and listening to me blab away forever. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you for being here at this time. And thank you for being yo. And thank you to my moderators. And thank you to my subscribers, all of the subscribers. The subscribers, we're going to have specific nights just for us. So you'll be able to have a lot of cool things. So if you're interested in supporting me, energetic exchange is really a powerful thing for both parties. A great way to do that is through subscribing to the live channel. I don't know how it works exactly, but all those people with the I love next to their name are subscribed. So thank you. I love you. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Trakumbere, kere kesiara, kakuria, tarakto sata, kimatata. Link in the bio.